Hello, and welcome back to Inferno Mines, the Fun Path Challenge, Part 2. I'm Corkboy, and we're going to be beating this map with a selection of new challenge rules called the Fun Path Challenge. In case you missed the first episode, basically the rules are you're not allowed to break or place any blocks with a couple of exceptions. And we've already gone through and gotten the white wool and cleared out skylights A and B. So this episode we're going to clear out skylight C and get some good stuff like a good sword and flak vest and some other stuff that you can find up in skylight C. And then we're going to go and conquer the first real, well, white wool is technically the first dungeon, but it's not in the first intersection, it's before the first intersection. So that we're going to conquer the lower mines, the first dungeon of the first intersection. And it's going to be fun because there's some good stuff there. So first off, we're just going to organize our stuff a little bit. We got this diamond helmet last episode from the white wool area, and I'm putting that protection 4 book on it. This is going to be, and of course I call it final helm in a extraordinarily pretentious way, as if I will never lose it for the rest of this run. Yeah, sure. Anyway, basically we've got the white wool and we're pretty set here when it comes to supplies. So we're just going to head right back up into the upper mines, which is the name of this upper connecting area that has the skylights as well as the white wool area. And I'm going to put up torches for no real reason. Like I said, I sort of have a torch syndrome, so you have to bear with me here. And basically, there's this is not hard at all, and there's no reason to do this anything different than normal Inferno Mines run. Basically, just torch up this area to make sure that you don't get attacked too much on going back and forth to your base. But to be honest, this is probably like one of the last times we'll be going through this area once we clear out the skylight. So it's no reason to be too obsessive about making sure this area is completely safe. But we do have to go back from Skylight C, so there's no reason to ignore it completely. Now, when going across this little bridge here, always make sure to check to the left in that dark area up on the side of the mountain, because if there's a skeleton there and he shoots you, you go right off that bridge into the giant pool of lava, and it's basically instant inventory loss. So always make sure to check before heading across that bridge, and sprint. As you can see, I'm sprinting now. I'm not wasting any time here. Now, if you follow the path, it gets overrun by lava. Now, the most people try and go right around the lava and into that very dark area over there. But if you go left, there's this little parkour-y thing to get you across the lava stream. And then if you go up, towards the mountain, you can actually go behind this lava fall, and it takes you straight to the ladder up to Skylight C. Now, actually, Vechs pointed this out in his developer's commentary, which I found this before I actually watched his developer commentary. Now, on this ladder here, this is another just basic Inferno Mines knowledge, but the glass barrier only goes up so far, and there are plenty of little dark ledges where skeletons can spawn, and they can ruin your day by shooting you off if you're not careful. So, when you get right out to the exposed area, always check for skeletons. Now, coming up here, it's time for a quiz. So, we have a broken bridge, which is probably too far to jump, but, well, we could cross with pearls, but I don't have any pearls at the moment. So, the answer is ladders, but you can't actually place a ladder on glass, so that's not so easy. But what you can do is place it along the wall like this, and just walk across the top by holding shift. And look, who needs blocks, right? Perfectly good bridge. Now, I'm here in Skylight C, and Skylight C is basically just a bunch of rooms with a spawner or two in them, and some pretty good loot. So, safe it up with some torches, and then take on the rooms one by one, and get everything that's good in the chest. It's really nothing particularly different than a normal playthrough, even in this challenge. Get that golden apple. And torches, and those are, the bow's not going to hurt. Always use a bow. Even if you already have an enchanted bow like I have, a basic bow can be used to repair using an anvil, and so, having a few of those is fine. And this room has a bunch of torches and an iron sword and some more food, so I'll take all of that. Ignore the Enderman. And, of course, this room up here has the most important loot, because this chest over on the right has a whole bunch of enchanted books with blast protection and projectile protection 4, and we definitely want those. So Once we safe up the room, which still has a creeper spawner in it, but it's pretty lit up now, so we shouldn't have to worry about extra creepers. We're just going to go through these chests. And there's another diamond helmet in the chest in this room, so I'm going to take that too. And I'll save that diamond helmet to repair my current diamond helmet using an anvil. And that, if you repair a piece of armor, enchanted armor, with another piece of the same type of armor, that costs a lot less levels than, say, repairing it with the raw materials. So it's generally worth it unless you have access to. If you have access to infinite diamonds, for example, it's more efficient to use the actual helmet to repair your helmet in terms of experience levels, but it is less efficient in terms of materials. So you'll end up using more diamonds than if you repair, per diamond, but you'll save on levels. So, of course, in Inferno Mines, eventually we do have access to essentially infinite diamonds, so we don't really have to worry too much about completely conserving our diamond armor. But, of course, we don't have access to too much of it very soon, so we're going to have to be careful. This room is safe, and that chest has some nether wart, but it has some experience bottles in it, and we definitely want those, so make sure our inventory is already pretty full, because we got lots of stuff. There's lots of stuff in this thing, and I don't want to make 2 trips, so I'm basically just going to be picky. Now, the last room here is probably the trickiest one. There's a creeper spawner right in the corner there, which has probably already spawned a ton of creepers because I've been walking right around this area. You really can't do anything about that. And all you can really do is light it up, but it's a pretty big room, so you just gotta run in there, light some things up, and probably there'll be an extra creeper or 2, and there were, but no damage to the chests, so that's good. And these final chests have some iron leggings and torches and a really good sword, which is sharpness, I believe. Yeah, that's sharpness 4 sword right there in the middle. We definitely want that. That is going to be our main sword, basically for a while. Sharpness 4, knockback 1, and looting 2. I'm pretty sure Vechs put the looting on that sword to make sure that it actually was too expensive to repair once you combine it with other swords. The 3rd enchantment makes it much more expensive to repair. So it's too overpowered to actually have a sharpness 4 sword that you can just repair cheaply early on in the map. So, well, even so, it's an excellent sword, and it's an iron sword. It'll last us quite a long time, as long as we don't, waste it by killing thousands of zombies in areas that are unnecessary. Now we're going back to the ladder and back out basically the way we came, do this little parkour again, and we're done. Although this time I think we're going to take a little bit of a shortcut. No need to go back around. Yeah, we're just going to jump across here and light this up a little bit. A couple of enemies finally. See, this dark area over here spawns quite a number of enemies. It's really kind of better to avoid it, but if you're just running back, it's not a problem. And that's pretty much it for Upper Mines. I don't think we ever come back here. So, sayonara to the Upper Mines, and, well, can't sleep yet. It's not night. And we're just going to clean out our inventory yet again with all this good stuff we just got. Look at all this armor, and plenty of books, and an extra helmet, and 10 pearls, and I'm going to put one of the books I got, an Unbreaking 3, on my Protection 4 helmet. So now I have an Unbreaking 3 Protection 4 named helmet, which should last quite a long time, and it's going to be very helpful just for anything. In general, Protection is by far the best enchantment, so if you can get Protection 4 diamond armor, that's pretty much the best, unless you have a very specific area. If you have an area that's just skeletons, maybe projectile protection would be better, but in terms of general defense, Protection is great, and it's also the only thing that protects against poison damage, which is very important in this map later on when you get lots of witches. So here you go. I've basically cleaned out everything. I've got my main supplies. I'm back at 1 speed so that everybody can watch carefully, and we're going to head straight here into the lower mines. Now, some of you might say, oh, but you can go to the Everforge and get some good stuff, diamond sword. That's true, but one of the things I'm going to be doing in this playthrough, and this isn't a rule of the challenge, it's just sort of my own personal rule, I guess you could say. You don't have to follow this if you don't want to, but I always do the wools in order. So in wool monument order, or victory monument order, because this is a Vechs map. And that means that, and basically the rule is that I don't allow myself to go into an area before I've secured the wool from the previous area. That means I basically have to beat this area before I can continue on. Now, at this point, basically, this area is not particularly any different than a normal playthrough. We have this crazy skeleton circus cart thing. Usually, it's a good idea to plug it up by putting a block or something like that on the railing, or breaking one of the blocks on the railing to make sure the carts all pile up and stop and don't interfere with you later on. But in this case, we can't break the blocks. We can, however, break the railing itself. The railings are not blocks, and therefore you can place and break them at, if you want to. But actually, reaching the railing from here is kind of tricky because it's high up and we can't pillar or block up. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm collecting some TNT and some TNT minecarts. Now, if you remember correctly, last episode I mentioned that it's okay to break blocks as long as you're not breaking them directly yourself. So TNT, blowing up a TNT is okay. However, placing a TNT block is not allowed because you're not allowed to place blocks either. On the other hand, though, TNT minecarts are not blocks. So that is a loophole, which can be very handy, can come in handy if you need to blow something up really badly. Now, there aren't that many pieces of stray TNT on this map, although there are a ton of minecarts, and you can, of course, craft extra minecarts. So theoretically, if you wanted to, in this challenge, you could blow a lot of stuff up by using TNT minecarts. But it's quite difficult because to blow up a TNT minecart, you actually need, railing and an ignition rail, I think is what they're called. Activator rail. And basically, it's not something you can just sort of plop down next to a spawner, run away, and shoot it with a flame arrow like you could with a normal TNT block. So we're not really going to make too much use of the TNT minecarts in this playthrough. Now, I'm heading back here to this lava pool because I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, this is where all the carts end up. And so I really could use some extra Unbreaking 3 books. Now, these carts, if you break them, or if you somehow get all the enemies out of them, or the enemies despawn, like this cart, they're going to have a whole bunch of useful items. Iron sword, hoppers, well, hoppers aren't really that useful, but iron sword, hoppers, and picks. I believe they have stone picks in them, which are actually very important at this stage in the game for a normal playthrough where you actually can use a pick. And they also have a number of enchanted books: looting, unbreaking, and I believe fortune. And the other enchanted books are not so important, but the Unbreaking 3 books can just be really great for making sure your armor lasts. I think an Unbreaking 3 on your armor will make it last twice as long, maybe even more. I'd have to look at the actual formula in the wiki, but it's very, very useful, and it's not expensive either. The Unbreaking books by themselves are, not a problem. So what you can do here is, like I just did, you can shoot the minecart out from under the enemies, and all the items will sort of, splatter this way and that way, and of course some will fall off the edge of the rail, and we can go and get those items here once we kill these stupid stacked chainmail enemies, which are really powerful at this point in the game. That chain armor really just buffs them, makes them hard to kill. It took away about half my health. Well, that and the blaze, which keeps spawning. So at this point, I ran through the items. I realized I don't really have that much inventory space. I'm already filled with lots of crap. And I'm going to go to a safer place here, safe-ish place. And hopefully I picked up one of those the Unbreaking 3 book I wanted. And I didn't. So at this point, the option is, well, I run back and I could get some more books, or I could just continue on. So I made the executive decision, you know what, we can always come back here and get more books, and maybe there's a better way than by the blaze pool. So, but we did get a blaze rod or two, I think, and those could theoretically come in handy if we were allowed to use potions, which are not, so they really are pretty useless in this challenge. Now then, moving on here in the lower mines, basically, it's a big open area for the most part, and I'm not going to be exploring it very much at all because there are lots of items, but there are things like the booper, which is an amazing axe that can just rip through the walls, the double slab walls that Inferno Mines is mostly made of. But of course, we can't really make use of anything like that, so there's no reason to go exploring in the other sections of this little area. We're just going to go straight to the wool and get it as fast as we can. Now, this area is designed by Vechs so that you use these TNT carts. And what you do, and of course I fail, you do is you flip the switch and then you push the carts down this powered rail, and they will go over an activator rail, which is already placed, and head right into this sort of mound of cave spiders, spawners, and blow them up. Now, here in this challenge, this is one of the few times when we really actually can blow up spawners. We don't really need to do this, but it's fun, and it doesn't violate the rules, and there, look at that. I got all the, oh crap, I didn't get all the spawners, and I'm stuck in the web, and I'm poisoned. Yeah, so this ended up being a complete fail. The idea is to not fall off the rail, and to blow up the spawners and just run across the top of the rail. So now I have on half heart, and of course there's a skeleton here, and I'm going to get attacked from behind by couple of spiders, and I'm poisoned again, and this isn't looking too good because there's a spider, there's a skeleton behind me, and I'm at half a heart, and I managed to survive that. I'm at half a heart. I'm not regenerating. Eat some stew. Inferno Mines, but I survived it. So how about that? Take that. Of course, that shouldn't have even been dangerous. That was just me being too overconfident and falling off the rail. Falling off bridges is going to be sort of a theme in this playthrough. Not my intended theme, but unfortunately it ends up being a theme. Now, basically, this is the final area now where the wool is, and there are a lot of spawners around this wool. Mainly creeper spawners, but there's blaze as well as witch spawners if you go too far around the side. So, attacking this area is usually in a normal playthrough, is a game of attrition. You go in, you torch up, you find the spawners, you break the spawners, you go in a little bit farther, you torch up. That's basically the strategy for this area. Now, for speedruns and such, there are various ways to go straight through the wall forward and go hit the wool box right on, but then you have to break through the wall for that. So here we actually have to go, as is the name of the challenge, through the fun path and get the wool and not actually place a break in the box. So this is going to be a little tricky, but we have pretty good armor now. We've got a protection 4 diamond helmet. We've got a really nice, I think I have an iron vest on at the moment. We've got iron pants. Now, here, this is another area like the previous spider spawner where you have a nest of spawners. In this case, really nasty ones with witches and cactus-headed skeleton ninja bastards. And so this is actually very useful to use these TNT minecarts here. If you have to run up though and flip that switch that I just did before, or the tracks aren't going to go in the right direction, and you don't want to have those things spawn at all. So just run up, flip the switch, run back as fast as you can. Also, one cart is usually not enough to break all the spawners, though I think we might be good. We're going to check out here in a second. Again, you can do this on a normal playthrough. This is something where Vechs intended you to use TNT minecarts. Oddly enough, most of the Let's Plays I've seen where people play this map blind, they don't get this or understand this. I think most people have never really used activator rails and TNT minecarts before. I guess there's really isn't that much opportunity to use them in creative or just a normal survival mode. So, but they're pretty cool items, I think. Now, one other thing here that most people don't realize is, you see what I'm standing on? I'm standing on stone, smooth stone. Now, you have not been able, at this point in this map, you have not been able to get any cobble whatsoever. There has been no cobble in this map, so the only picks you've been able to get are those stone picks that you got in the base at intersection 1. And if you wanted to make your own swords or make your own pick or basically make your own tool at all, you basically were stuck with wood. But under these spawners is a bunch of cobble. So actually, of course, I'm not allowed to break the cobble, but I am allowed to throw another TNT minecart down there and get a couple cobble. I guess I just did this just to prove that I could. It's not actually going to be useful at all to be, because Vechs gives you enough tools so that you don't actually have to use any for cobble. But now with the blaze rods and the cobble I have, I could actually make brewing stands already. Now, in a normal playthrough, that could actually be really useful. So even at this point already, you can make brewing stands, and the witches will often drop night vision potions. So if you use And if you put a night vision potion on a brewing stand and then add in a fermented spider eye, then what you're going to do is you're going to actually get invisibility potions, because that's the recipe for invisibility potions. So even though you don't have access to nether wart yet at all, what you do have access to is invisibility potions at this point in the map. Now, of course, in this challenge, we're not allowed to use potions at all, let alone the totally game-breaking invisibility potions. But if you really are having trouble with places like the Everforge or some of these first areas, if you're not very experienced in this map, you need an edge up. You can actually get invisibility potions very quickly in this map, and basically an infinite number of them too, because as long as you don't break all the witch spawners, you can farm in invisibility potions already if you want. Now here's a little supply chest which I'm using basically as a trash can. And also I ran out of torches, but I do have extra wood, so I'm mining some of this coal here and making a couple more torches. Now this is the final area, so you get creeper spawners all around the outside, and the wool box is annoyingly suspended up in the air a little bit on this little, on the little platform. Now, since we can't place any blocks, the only way to get in that box is put a ladder up on the side, jump up onto the ladder, and hold there by using shift, and break the glass while you're sticking on the ladder, which of course takes, I think, 5 times longer than it normally would because you're shifting on a ladder. So, well, unless you stand on top of the ladder, then it takes the same amount of time. So that's the theory. That's what I'm trying to do. But first, I just sort of ran in there and torched up as best I could, and torched around the side so that you don't get 1,000 creepers spawning where your escape route is. And generally, it's worked pretty well. Just clean out some of the creepers I spawned while running around near the edge. If you go too far around, then you're going to get witches chasing you, and that is not a good day. So we are definitely just going to go in, grab the wool, get back, get out as quick as possible. And of course I already used up all those torches I made, so getting the last few bits of coal here and making another, I guess, 12, or I think I'll have 13 torches here in the end. Thankfully, brought extra wood, so I definitely have enough wood to make extra torches. Always keep at least 8 logs and a stack of coal. That's my philosophy anyway, because that will give you 4 stacks of torches, and that way you'll never have a problem with that. Now here I am with my ladder. I'm just going to run in, I'm going to put the ladder down, and I'm running away. That's step 1. Ladder. Okay, ladder done. Good. Excellent. I can sit back and enjoy the spoils of my single ladder placement. There are actually 2 blaze spawners in here, and I think 1,000 creeper spawners. It's about 1,000. And basically, the blazes are definitely dangerous at this point in the game. We don't really have fire protection, and the damage from the balls just themselves is pretty decent. But the worst thing about it is it'll knock you back, so we really don't want to be knocked off from when we're trying to break this glass here. And for some reason, that ladder is gone. I think a creeper explosion blew up just the ladder. Great. Well, okay, so no more ladder, but I did manage to get the glass part broken, which now that I think about it, it would be smarter. I could just break the glass first, and then place the ladder and jump up and climb the ladder and get in the box. So, okay. See, that's one of the things. Speed is important, but in this sort of situation where you can't do it all at once, you just gotta be patient. Do it one step at a time. Stand back, far away from the spawner so you're not spawning extra things, and then just run in there when your health is regen and get it done. So here we go. It's getting it done time. We're in. We're gonna get that blaze rod. You're on fire, but it's okay. We're gonna jump, and we missed the jump. we do it. And the creeper explodes, and we're at 3 hearts, and we're at 2 hearts, and oh, we're totally screwed. We're on fire. Oh my god, are we? Wow. So basically, yeah, that was extremely close. Here's another pro tip for you Minecrafters out there who are looking for the pro tip. Don't be on fire when you only have half a heart left. It's good advice, really. I don't really know how I lived that. I think I just got extraordinarily lucky where my normal, health regen happened to click right exactly when it needed to prevent the fire from taking off that last half a heart. Now, no reason to give up. Just get in there, clean out some of the creepers that had spawned from my previous near-death run. And you know what? One good thing, though, is that creeper explosion blew up more of the glass. So I have an even better chance now of getting in that box and getting that wool and getting out of this area, which I definitely want to at this point. So here we go. Ladder in hand, ladder on the floor. Here we go, up, and I missed the freaking jump again. Okay, second time's the charm. There we go, in the box. In the box is pretty safe because they can't jump up, the creepers can't jump up into it, and just break through the glass on the other side and run the heck out of Dodge. And that's it. That's pretty much it for this area. I am going to just sort of fast forward here. We are not going to stop. We're not going to look back. We're going to go up the ladder and down this rail properly. Not worry about those cave spiders this time. And all the back to the start. Just follow the rail. I mean, actually, this area is pretty confusing from the layout, but if you follow this railing, you'll just go straight to the wool, so you don't have to worry. It's not too difficult. Now, here I am back at the start, and I'm going to try and get one or two more of those Unbreaking 3 books. So, boom. That was a good shot, but I kind of didn't think this through. Because here comes a zombie and 3 skeletons with chainmail. Or no, it's 2 skeletons with chainmail and a zombie with... Oh no, it's also a skeleton with a sword. And they are just... Look at that. Just fighting them with a decent power 2 enchanted bow. I took half my health to kill that stack of things. Well, anyway, they dropped the books, so let's see. This time, do I get an Unbreaking 3 book? Because, or is it stuck up there on the railing and I didn't get it? Of course, no Unbreaking 3 book, so... Well, you know what? When it doesn't work the first time, try again. Those guys can't be that bad. I've already regened up to the top. I'm not gonna die just from one single stacked skeleton. It's not gonna happen. So, here you go. I've decided to try again. And so I'm going to go back up to the top and get in my little sniper position and shoot out another one of these carts. And hopefully this time I'll be more successful. Or lucky, I guess. And I missed. And I missed again. And, oh, hey, look at that. That was a nice long shot. And this time, those guys are far enough away where they're not chasing me. So I'm just going to snipe them here from my little lookout, and then we can go collect the books at leisure and hopefully get an Unbreaking 3 book this time. Now, Vechs does give plenty of these Unbreaking 3 books throughout the map, but this is, of course, the place where you can get an infinite number of them very early, so they are really useful, and you basically want to keep, 5, 6, 7 of them around. They can be very useful just for whenever you have to re-gear or you lose your stuff. And there you go, I got one of the Unbreaking 3 books. So I think I'm satisfied, finally. And got the wool, no reason to tempt fate anymore, so head right back up to the first intersection. Put that wool in the wool chest, and this will be the end of part 2. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time.